Hey, welcome back to another video. There's an upcoming frost tonight. We got the dreaded freeze warning notification this morning. It's supposed to get down into the mid to low 20s this evening. So we've got a few things we need to take care of here to prepare for it. Now with any type of preparation, you got to prioritize things that are important to you. And there's three levels of importance to us here on the homestead. Number one is preservation of life, of human life is the number one. This is not going to be a super crazy strong freeze, so I'm not too concerned about my own personal life. I can leave if I need to for some crazy reason. It's not going to be the case this time. We do need to look around and decide what are some of the conveniences that humans use as far as water, things like that. I've already gone up and disconnected all the garden hoses and everything from the well site up there, and last thing I've got left to do to get everything prepared for the water is I got to put this frost cover on the outdoor spigot that's on the side of the house. And I'm not going to quite do that yet because I'm going to need that spigot for some of the other projects that for some of the other preparations we got to do today. So your number two priority should be livestock. In our case is chickens. Chickens are really cold hardy animals down to about -20 degrees. They don't start to even suffer until about -20. The lowest it's ever been, the entire lowest record it's ever been here where we live in the western North Carolina mountains was -18, and that was back in 1985. So I'm not worried about the chickens freezing. Our coop is not insulated. One thing I am worried about freezing though is their water. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of that today. And they have a side window in their coop that I'm just gonna go ahead and close just to keep it a little bit warmer in there for them, a little more comfortable. And then the third concern that we always have to worry about here is the survival of our garden plants. Most of the stuff that we've got growing out here in the garden, we still have some summer plants in that are probably going to die from this frost, but most of the stuff that we have out here is cold hardy down to a certain level. We're going to get pretty low tonight that there might be a possibility of the frost damaging some of these plants, so we're going to go ahead and get them put to bed. We're going to go ahead and put row cover on all of our plants out here just for an extra level of protection. Let's get to it. Like I said, I already got everything taken care of for all the humans here on the homestead. We got to go get these chickens taken care of. Let's go do that. All right, here we are inside the chicken run. Got the power cord run out here. I just kind of fed it up through the chicken wire here, and just bring it inside because we got. Here is the 5-gallon water that we normally use over the summer. This thing works great. It holds a ton of water. I actually have 2 of them, so when it's really hot I put 2 of them out so they don't ever run out. But for the winter time we got this 3.5-gallon heated water that just plugs in to an outlet, and it just heats the bottom up, and it keeps it just warm enough so it doesn't freeze. So we're just gonna swap these out real quick. We gotta plug this in and test it. Probably should have done that before I came out here, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. I don't see why it wouldn't, but I'm gonna plug it in and then we'll test it just to make sure that the base is heating up. We're gonna give that a couple seconds to heat up, and I'm gonna go inside the house here and just shut that window that I was talking about earlier for these chickens. All right, we ain't got that window shut. Now this only takes a few seconds to start warming up. Now it won't be like warm, but you can kind of tell just it's warmer than the rest of the plastic. So we'll come out and check on it tomorrow, especially in the morning when I come out here to let the chickens out. I'll have to make sure that their water isn't frozen. And if it is, it's not like they're gonna die. I'm just trying to make it as comfortable for them as possible during the cold, because they don't really care for the cold that much. Again, like I said earlier, they're pretty hardy down to -20, but they get pretty lethargic when it gets really cold. We're not going to be really cold tonight, but it's going to be cold enough. How you fill this up is you just take, it sits on here like this. When it's ready, you just take this and I flip it over, and then I just bring a 5-gallon bucket of water out here with me. And then you just fill that up, and then I take some extra, because there's always extra water, and just kind of dump it on this to rinse off any dirt or anything. Not like they're not gonna get it dirty, but, and then this just latches on and then flip it over. Now what happens is the water will fill up in the bottom here, and once it gets to the, there's two little holes here at the bottom that let the water come out. Once it gets to that, it'll stop running out. So as the water level, as they're drinking it and the water level drops, it'll constantly refill itself. So the key factor to one of these types of waterers, same with that one, is you want it to be on a pretty level surface, because if you have it off to the side, one side will be underwater where the water comes out of the jug dispenser here. One side will be underwater and will stop. The other side won't. It'll be up and it'll continue to feed water out, and it'll just drain the whole thing, and then your chickens won't have any water. So chicken chores are ready for the freeze. One thing I do want to note is if we're expecting any high winds or like a wind chill advisory, we will wrap the run here in tarps just to block the wind, because the chickens, their combs and their wattles and their feet are pretty susceptible to frostbite when it's windy and really cold. Again, we're not going to be that cold tonight or for the next few days, so I'm not that concerned about it. Let's go put these plants to bed. All right, so we made it out to the garden for our third and final preparation for the frost. And explain to you everything that's going on over here. So I'm standing right in the middle of our garden. Everything on this side is still summer crop, with the exception of a couple things in the back that we'll talk about here in a second. But all the peppers are pretty much gone. There's one habanada plant down here that I'm going to go ahead and harvest all the habanadas that are left on it. I'm going to take those off. Everything else back here is green beans. They're going to get destroyed. They're not producing right now anyway. I just haven't pulled them out yet, and I'm not going to worry about them at the moment. Back in the very back corner back there is our Brussels sprouts that we planted in the spring. Now they've been going all summer through the fall. They are frost hardy. They won't continue to grow anymore. They won't produce more Brussels sprouts or anything after it gets cold, but their flavor is much sweeter and a lot better after a good frost. So this frost is going to be a welcome sight for those plants out there. What we got to do on this side is, you can see right here, this row, some of our winter greens here, we got an Agribond row cover on them right now. This bed back here is a little bit older, cabbage greens and things like that back here, but we still have the hoops that we made out of the 9-gauge wire. We still have the hoops in that bed, so that makes it convenient. The Agribond is still laying over there, so all I gotta do is just pick that up and recover those again. But around the whole border on the outside, we have a lot of small seedlings and radishes and things growing out here that are supposed to be pretty cold hardy. I think they're cold hardy down to about 25. It's gonna be close. We're gonna be between 22 and 25, I think, tonight. Maybe even a little cooler. We're in a kind of a weird microclimate here where it's either 5 or 6 degrees warmer than expected or 5 to 6 degrees cooler than expected, but it's almost rarely exactly what the forecast says. So we're going to get this row cover put on, this Agribond row cover put on all these things. We'll probably just leave all this row cover on until it's time to harvest these vegetables. Just makes it a little bit easier, and that way if there's an unexpected frost that happens overnight, then they'll already be covered and they'll be taken care of. I went to the farm store this morning, picked up some more fiberglass, or they're not fiberglass, they're graphite row cover hoops, just because I'm out of 9-gauge wire, so I couldn't make any more, so I went and just picked up some. I'm gonna go around and put all these hoops up, and then I gotta go to the garage and cut some, or I gotta go to the garage and grab the Agribond, bring it up here. We'll lay it out and cut it, get it to fit, get this project finished up. All right, got all the hoops put out there, and I got the Agribond here. I know I said what it was, but I wanted to show you. It's just like a woven cotton covering. So we use this for multiple things here on the homestead. We use it for pest control in the springtime and the summer. Cover some of the crops that are susceptible to a lot of different flying pests. And then we also use it in the winter for a thermal barrier to keep the frost off these plants. So that's what we're putting it on today. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go along here and I'm gonna stretch this stuff out. It's 10 feet wide, so these poles are from one side to the other are close to probably 6.5 feet. So there'll be some overlap, which is a good thing because we're gonna lay a couple pieces of wood down to hold it down, kind of like we did on this one here. But I'm gonna go ahead and start laying this stuff out. Hopefully I got enough. If I don't, I can run to the farm store real quick and just grab a little bit. They sell it by the foot down there, which is pretty convenient. I bought these from Johnny's, bought 100 foot last year. I think we'll probably have enough, but we'll see. Put you guys on time lapse again, and I'm gonna start laying this stuff out. Oh, also, the best way to hold these down, you can do it again with pieces of wood. Sandbags works really well if you're in a high wind area. We're not expecting a lot of wind. If we end up getting wind, I'll adjust my process here, but I'm gonna use clothespins for the front side, and then along the back side, I'm gonna lay 2x4s over there. So because we're not gonna have to pick up the back side throughout the winter, we're just gonna do the front. So I'm just gonna use these clothespins, put the wood on the back so we don't have to move it around. Clothespins, you can just fold it back, harvest what we need to harvest, bring it back down, cover it back up. So I'm gonna get this laid out. All right, got it all covered up there. Probably not the best job, but I think I'll have to come up with a bit of a different plan for next season as far as where we grow our cold weather stuff, because it's really hard to work alongside that fence to put those 2x4s back there. I'm not 100% certain that they're gonna hold. It should hold enough to get us through the next few days, and then I can reassess the situation after that. But I am gonna have to run back to the farm store and get a few feet of some more Agribond, and I also need to run and get some more clothespins. I ran out of clothespins. We're gonna cut this video off here though, just to give you an idea of how we prepare for a frost here. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We try to post about weekly now. We've had breaks off and on for a little while there, but I'm trying to get back in the swing of everything and trying to at least produce a video every week. So if you like what we're doing, like I said, follow us along. Leave me a comment down below. Share us with your friends, and we appreciate y'all stopping by. Stay warm out there.